It's your boy, the one and only A Switch, aka the 220 time social distancing champion, aka the pretty motherfucker with a dash of ugly, aka Mr. Babyface. But he a man though. Let me stop. Freaking you. Yet another episode of Switches Sites. Episode 83 to be exact. Today's date is December 4th, 2020. Hopefully everybody had a very wonderful, COVID safe, socially distanced Thanksgiving. Decided to take a break from take a week off from the podcasting, as well as nothing much was really happening necessarily. So I was like, let me save a little topics of discussion until next week, which is now. So there you go. For those that don't know, Switches Sites is my gaming podcast where I talk about just that. The world is still horrible, just in case y'all forgot. In LA County at least. It seems like there's an imminent lockdown. At least probably I'm assuming presumably other states and stuff as well. But hey, because people don't want to listen, this is what we have. Now we got to be on lockdown yet again. We could have been out of this like a couple other countries and whatnot, even though I guess technically because of us, maybe they're starting to get their cases up, and it's all horrible. Just throw the whole country away. Just throw it all away. We'll start over. Well, on a brighter note, it is December, it's Christmas time, holiday cheer. We don't want no Grinches over here. You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch. I'm sorry, my mic can't pick up my voice when I go that low. So I apologize. Blame the mic. Blame technology for not accommodating my voice. I was about to give y'all a whole full quartet of Christmas songs, but you know what? Because this mic doesn't want to cooperate. Well, either way, hopefully everybody's getting in that holiday cheer, considering the harsh times we're in still. But hey, it happens. Life is life. Either you get back up or you stay down and lick the floor. I heard that somewhere. I'm sorry. Either way, let's stop the dilly dally and get right into it. First topic of discussion: PSVR2. You heard it right, folks. PSVR2. Well, hey, it is a thing. Apparently some patents leaked regarding the design of it. Some notable features. I believe there's haptic feedback on it. Yeah, haptic feedback on the headset itself. It seems to look way even lighter and smaller than the original PSVR, which is pretty dope. Apparently, there's LED lighting and sensors that recognize if the headset is properly worn. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, it looks like damn. That's interesting. So there's two. So there is a patent for the traditional VR AR headset, which we said that is, at least from what I'm seeing, looks much smaller. Then there's also VR AR glasses. So maybe they're trying to dabble, put them pinky toes in the augmented reality market. That's gonna be interesting. Try to do what let's see. I guess technically Microsoft and Google, well, of the multiple failures, Google just drops and moves on to. Huh, interesting. It might be, yeah, because I'm still, for whatever reason, just waiting to bite the bullet. It's just something about VR that just hasn't really, really made me want to do the full jump. Um, Maybe it's the killer app. I mean, Half Life Alex was close, but yeah, I don't know. I'm just waiting for like a really solidified killer app that will like just like I gotta get VR now. Um, yeah, I'm just still on the fence. I'm still on that fence. I'm just on that picket fence. My butt hurt a little bit, but let me stop. Keeping that keeping that rumor train going. Cheers, cheers. Um, um. Also, I mean, take this, of course, both of these with a huge grain of salt, but apparently, patent for the PS5 Pro has been leaked as well. That I guess the biggest takeaway from this is that it's gonna have two GPUs in it, which is very interesting. I believe it technically will be the first console, if true, to have two graphics cards in a console. It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy, guys. Guys, it's gonna be crazy. But I believe the second one, according to this article and patent, leaked patent, that the other one may be used for cloud optimized games. Interesting. So I believe basically it's just gonna maybe streamline streaming, streamline streaming somehow with the graphics card. Maybe I don't know, some voodoo magicry. That's not a word. Magical voodoo to maybe make cloud streaming viable, if anything. That because I mean, especially like with Sony partnering with Microsoft in terms of the streaming front. I think that's a safe bet. It seems it's apparent they're like doubling down on trying to get the streaming game down pat. You know, try to reduce latency as much as possible, and I think potentially, I mean, maybe this might be it. Maybe it won't. You know, if anything, I guess worst case, you just have more horsepower. Maybe weirdly enough, it might use, I guess, since it's a presumably AMD graphics card, Crossfire, similar to SLI with NVIDIA graphics cards, maybe do boost performance with, you know, at a cheaper price, even though technically buying two graphics cards is generally the same price as a, higher next gen graphics card, if that makes sense. So I don't know. Maybe somehow they're doing some, like, I guess, customized, maybe cheaper alternative to this or something to make it feasible to actually use two GPUs in one console. But I mean, it's not necessarily surprising. I mean, I think the PS4 Pro did pretty good. I mean, I think anybody who's like let me be let me be careful. Anybody who's a video game enthusiast slash, I guess, wants the best quality, which is I consider myself to fall in that boat where I just want the absolute best that I possibly can, reasonably, and I felt the PS4 Pro did that. It bumped up some games to a pretty decent extent. The 4K, even though it's like upscaled and stuff like that, it was for a lot of games pretty viable. I mean, with the downside of the jet engine, your PS4 Pro is about to take off, lift off, whatever. But I mean, outside of that, I mean, it worked. It did what it said it was gonna do. So So I mean, yeah. I mean, I ain't gonna lie to you. If a PS4 Pro, I mean, I think it's safe to say probably we'll see this maybe 3 to 4 years down the line. Um, it's definitely. I'm pretty sure it's happening at this point. I think, yeah, especially considering how I think presumably well the PS4 Pro did. I think, yeah, I think they're gonna keep that trend going. Mid gen upgrades, which in turn will further extend the generation like it did this past generation. So all in all, I mean, of course, it's definitely not coming soon. I'm for sure 3 to 4 years from now, it'll probably be a reality. But yeah, jumping the gun. I don't think. I think it was trending on Twitter too. Pre PS5 Pro, people just stress like, I can't even get the PS5. Now they're coming over the PS5 Pro. What? What is this? I hate everything. Yeah, no, I don't. I would be very surprised, but I highly doubt it. But of course, yeah, definitely. Obviously, uh, PlayStation, Xbox, they obviously, R&D, research and development, research and test consoles way before they come out. Like, all right, guys, man, all right, man, PS4 doing good. PS5, let's all right, we got a year. Let's get this going. Let's get this cracking. No, does not work like that. Pretty certain they're already working on the PS6 right now. Xbox Series XXL now. Man, I actually kind of want the Series X, the continuation of the Series X or Series X Pro is gonna be. Yeah, it's got to be double X, just double X. Maybe put an L in it if you feeling risky. If you feeling risky, But I digress. But hey, I'm down for it. I'm gonna eat it up though. Don't you fret. Moving on, keeping the Sony news going. Jesus, I have to like fucking eat this damn mic. It is a gift and a curse, man. This damn. Ugh, just gonna put my lips on it. Put my lips on this mic. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Yeah. So apparently, even though this has kind of been somewhat of an ongoing rumor that people like, I believe it when I see it, which I'm kind of in that boat too, but I feel like it's worth mentioning to some extent. I guess famous YouTuber, not let's keep things realistic. Known YouTuber, Moore's Law is dead. Apparently a tech analyst. I've not heard of him until now. Claims that Silent Hills and Metal Gear Solid is going to be PS5 exclusives and is in the works. So it was like a segment in his podcast, I believe, that mentions it, and I listened to it fully. I mean, it's like, I guess, I don't know. And then I think he also mentioned God of War 2 coming out in 2021, but I think that was already confirmed though that it is coming out next year. So I don't know. I'll believe it when I see it. I would of course love Silent Hill and Metal Gear to be a thing. Apparently, I think the word on the street is that Hideo Kojima and Konami made up, had that nasty raunchy makeup. I don't know. I don't know what they do. I don't know who Konami is as a whole. I mean, Konami could be a fine girl. I don't. These are questions that need answers that we don't have answers to yet. All right. But yeah, I don't know. I'll believe when I see it. Yeah, I'll believe when I see it. I won't be surprised because I mean, there's a ton of rumors about it. If it is for the Silent Hill, if it actually is the original Team Silent that developed the, I think, first four games, and then went off on other teams to develop that, and then Metal Gear Solid, which I think the rumor is that's apparently being made by Blue Point Games, who also just recently worked on the tremendous, magnificent Demon Souls remake. So they have a great moniker for remakes. They also remade the Metal Gear Solid collection as well. I believe we talked about that last episode. So would not be too surprised if that was a thing. I don't know. I don't think Kojima and Konami made up though. If anything, maybe I could see more realistically that Konami, had made some deal with PlayStation to have some team, work, or maybe PlayStation provides the money um, to support, um, with the rights that maybe Konami gives PlayStation to make a Silent Hills game or something. I don't know. I don't know. Well, I guess that'll probably line up with the new Team Silent thing. Yeah, that okay, that makes sense now. I guess it could be the Kojima thing, but I doubt it. But I think more realistically, considering the like super public breakup between Konami and Kojima, that yeah, I think Silent Hills is going to be developed by the original Silent Hills team, and then Metal Gear Solid will be remade by Blue Point. And PlayStation 5, hey, I'll give you a free cookie if you all it took was a cookie for Konami to is it peanut butter? All right, okay. All right, you got me. You got me. You got me, Sony. uh would have loved to be a fly in the room in that meeting if this is supposedly true, but I guess apparently, just with a grain of salt, this dude has been known to, I guess, you know, back up rumors, but then if they're false, totally just, delete videos and stuff that back the rumors. So keep that in mind. But the only reason I bring this up is because of the previous rumors of these things being a thing as well. So yeah, moving on. Apparently, um, for the PS5, for Resident Evil 3 specifically, if you go to the store for Resident Evil 3, it actually shows a PS5 version of Resident Evil 3. So basically, the PlayStation 5 UI. If you're for some games, if it's both on PS4 and PS5, it will tell you what version to basically select if you hit the like three dots in the menu for that. So like for Resident Evil 3, apparently if you go to Resident Evil 3 and you hit the three dots, it'll show PS5 Resident Evil 3, which is very interesting. It does the same thing with other games that where there is a multiple version, but for Resident Evil 3, we currently only know that there is only a PS4 version. So, I mean, it could be a bug, could be a glitch, but I mean, at the same time, who knows? I mean, yeah. So that's very interesting. It could totally be a bug, but and I guess as well for Resident Evil 2, it does not show this at all. It does not show a PS5 version for Resident Evil 2. So this could potentially be a bug, but I mean at the same time, I mean, part of me personally, at least, I think the general consensus for Resident Evil 3 is for people who played the original is pretty damn disappointing in terms of a lot of missed opportunities and you know cut corners that otherwise would have done this remake complete justice in the same vein as Resident Evil 2, even though there are some gripes I have about Resident Evil 2 as well. But I mean, I feel like I've preached this before, but you know what? I'm gonna get on that goddamn podium again. Resident Evil, Raccoon City, director's cut, or Resident Evil 2 3 director's cut, whatever you want to call it. Just basically give I guess how Capcom is famously known for like ultra booty. I gotta do it. What is it? Is it this one? Resident Evil, Street Fighter Ultra Booty Doodoo Edition. Yeah. In stores now. You know, um, robot. This one. Yeah. Resident Evil. Um, this is actually Resident Evil Super Booty Alpha Omega Ultra Power Edition. You know, so hey, it could happen. But basically, Resident Evil 2 and 3, at least for Resident Evil 2, just to um further diversify the scenarios where they're not basically literally just a retread of everything, add pretty much the kind of somewhat missing elements from the original, and maybe add a additional like area, because I think they skipped one Resident Evil 2. Trying to remember. It was some gripe I had about Resident Evil 2. Yeah, I think just the there were some cut areas like, for from the original there was like a whole lava section area, which I think they no, I don't even think they technically did that, but basically it's a lot of, I guess, cut content from the original game that I think they could have, put in for 2. I mean, if they put pretty much gave us the Resident Evil 2 that we wanted in terms of like not necessarily one for one, but pretty damn close remake of the original. I think I can't even, I'm totally biased with Resident Evil. So I mean generally most Resident Evil stuff I would buy anyway, but I think that it would be a little messed up, but at the same time, I mean I wouldn't be, I'd still buy it, I ain't gonna lie to you and say I'm not gonna buy it. So I don't know. I don't know. Um, I just don't know. And then Resident Evil 3, if anything, that needs the biggest revamp. They totally cut the clock tower segment. Um, the whole Nemesis just being just way less intimidating, scary in this one. Just being a totally just scripted monster, which is just it. It's kind of a shame that Tyrant is way more scarier than Nemesis, which is, it was generally the other way around. Where because Nemesis Tyrant was more scripted, and then Nemesis was actually more was actually how Tyrant is now, where he's more dynamic and like um even scarier than previous games where he like intelligently follows you throughout the whole game for the most part. Yeah, it's a lot of issues with Resident Evil 3 that they, man, it's disappointing for people who played this for the first time. I mean, I doubt they're as disappointed, but if you definitely played the original, it hurts. Don't do this, Capcom. I mean, do this, but do it the right way. Okay, let me stop ranting. Moving on. Apparently, newsflash, PS5 did pretty good. You know, apparently it's the UK's biggest ever console launch. Probably makes sense with some of the news outlets were talking about how, like, people were stealing like PS5s, and tracking was like, oh, tracking is unavailable now. Sorry. I'm like, what? I just said it was coming today, but it's which I'm sorry. I mean, I feel bad for the people that legitimately managed to get one, and then to be disappointed. I think also Amazon, they said like they like swapped PS5s with like random objects or something that I guess presumably is the same weight of the PS5, like probably in the same box, but just like totally different weight, and like what is this 10-pound dildo? I'm pretty sure I got the PS5, but I got a dildo right here. What is this? I've been had. Somebody call the cops. Uh, I'm just trying to make light of the situation. I know for people, uh, yeah, I would be peeved. PS5 day, I open up the box. Oh yeah, what? It's a dildo. What am I gonna do? I mean, you said a PS5, right? Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Um, yeah. So there you go. UK doing big things. Well, PS5. I guess I don't know where I was going with that. Moving on. Keeping that Sony news going. Apparently, uh, according to internal documents from Vice, PlayStation users spend more time playing offline games than online ones, which is pretty interesting. You'd think it'd be the opposite of that, yeah, like with, you know, evolution of everything today and where games are going and things like that, that online would be the most popular, but actually single player is, which I could see to some extent because I know a lot of people who just generally just like to play just single player games solely and not even from a competitive standpoint, not feeling they can compete against other people, and then just like no, I'd rather play single player, which I mean, for me, I'm generally on both spectrums. I like both actually. I kind of get in my phases where I like to just be playing single player games versus multiplayer games. Kind of, it depends on the mood. If it's a game I'm really excited for, a la Cyberpunk 2077, it just varies. But hey, it's pretty cool though, cause yeah, like at least like let's say I think this conversation came up like maybe 2, 3, 4 years ago, maybe that single player games were actually the opposite and on their way out or something like that. Which is like what I think a lot of people had a disagreement with that in general, but I think it seemed to have been a popular topic that caught on at the time, but yeah, at least now for sure, that is not the case. I think this also came up due to the activities feature for PS5. For those that don't know, the PS5 it's a pretty cool feature. I haven't used it too much that lets you um, jump directly to whatever activity is available. So, like for example, I messed with it a little bit for Demon Souls. For Demon Souls, there's like multiple worlds, right? So if you wanted to go to a different world, all you would have to do is go to activities, and then it gives you all the available worlds. So, like in theory, technically, you can skip the Nexus because generally, well, no, you could technically just go to a nearby bonfire, or I forgot what they call it, but basically whatever a checkpoint, and teleport that checkpoint directly to another world, which wasn't an original, but they did add in the remake. But you can also teleport basically from anywhere. It kind of gives you. It's one of the items in the game that lets you do that as well. But the downside is that you sacrifice some souls. I think they take away a certain amount of souls if you do that. Um, so essentially, I guess it's a shortcut of using that item. Maybe they probably like ration it or have a restriction on it to some extent where you can only do it so many times, or if you're maybe they catch a theme or something. But I maybe at the same time I doubt it because it's a system menu thing. But who knows? Maybe I've not messed with it enough to that extent, but there is potential. Um, but yeah, they said that what was the quote here? Video game companies like Sony and Microsoft spend years planning their next generation machines. The moment one machine is out the door, they're sketching out what the next one will look like, even if it won't ship for another decade. Sony's big plans for PlayStation 5 were in motion long before the hardware showed up at people's doors, and that included its ambitious ideas for the PS5 interface, such as activities that I wrote about last week, where people can instantly jump around to different game quests by sorting through a menu. So, yeah. So, makes sense. I doubt. I mean, you could technically use it in multiplayer too. I think for some games they showed a preview of the UI that you can directly jump to playlists. I think even with Call of Duty Cold War, you can like jump to a direct playlist from the menu as well, which is pretty dope all around. So hopefully it sticks in terms of the activity specifically. But I mean, I think anybody could tell you that's at least remotely deep into games that single player games aren't going anywhere. There's obviously immense value in that, and stories to be told and experienced in that regard. So yeah, interesting topic though. That at least struck my interest to kind of have a little finagle. Yeah, what what? I'm gonna stick with it. Finagle. Um, man, and like this damn juggernaut that doesn't stop. News. Kratos. Um, boy is apparently now available in Fortnite. As if you need any more reason to play Fortnite. Which I mean, my biggest gripe with Fortnite, if they just had a mode that didn't have building, I would probably play it. But because the game is so freaking contingent on building and like you know doing all these mouse moves to build at like freaking five 5 million seconds. That doesn't add up, but in like 0.05 milliseconds. I'm not a fan, but looks cool. He got the infamous hammer or not hammer. That could potentially be in the next one though. That'd be pretty dope. The infamous Levi. I think it's called the Leviathan axe or Frost axe, Bifrost axe. Either way, the infamous axe for Kratos and Shield, as well as I forgot his name. I want to say Perseus, but I know it's wrong. The headless dude that basically is your partner in crime. Well, outside of Atreus. So yeah, interesting stuff. So I guess this is getting in a weird territory now. They're like adding PlayStation exclusive characters, but then with that in mind, Xbox was like, "Hold on, wait a minute." But this, I guess, is technically rumored still. But they showed there's a leak online that's showing Master Chief as a Fortnite character with his pelican. I guess that would be his little parachute thing. And then the gravity hammer, which is obviously pretty iconic since Halo 3. Which totally makes sense if true. But I mean, then what is Nintendo gonna do? But I guess I was hearing rumors online that for Nintendo that Samus might potentially be the mascot character for that. But I'm very curious if all this is true. Well, at least we know for sure Kratos is true. But like, will I see Kratos in when I'm playing the Xbox version of Fortnite? Will I see Master Chief on when I'm playing the PlayStation version of Fortnite and I come across a character? You know, how will that work? Because I don't know. I feel like, at least with my experience with crossplay so far, at least probably the most recent that comes to mind is Call of Duty, Black Ops, and Modern Warfare, where it, something about it is just really petty to me. But like when you're in the matchmaking, it will show if somebody's playing on PC, but if it's somebody on PlayStation, it of course, which is kind of petty when you think about it. If it's somebody on PlayStation, it doesn't show a PlayStation logo like you would see if you were on the PlayStation. It shows like a general like TV screen or monitor. It's like, all right, okay. I mean, if y'all want to be petty, sure. I mean, just I guess I get it. Where it's like you don't want to promote the other console, where all of us are clearly aware of the other console, and yeah, I get it. It's still petty, but I get it. It's like, just show the icon. Like, is it really that big a deal? But all right, okay, I guess if it's you know, just petty, man. Pet e, pet e. I get it, but at the same time, it's still petty. I'm just saying. It's like, y'all, Sony and PlayStation always, talking to each other. Hey, man, congrats on your launch. Hey, man, no, congrats on your launch, man. We're in this together. But then, crossplay, which was even which was already a hill that was tough to climb to, for us to get to currently now. But now it's like, you know what? No, yeah, no, no, PlayStation icons. No, we don't show that on our console. Our games that are on our console. It is, it is what it is. And then what even makes it weird is that Sony is partnering with with Microsoft for the cloud streaming stuff. I mean, it is what it is. It's just one thing. Just show the little just show a little dingy icon. That's all you gotta. Is it really gonna kill your sales if you do that? I get. Let me stop. I've ranted enough about that, but hopefully maybe at some point things will not be as, I don't know. I actually really don't know now. But either way, yeah. So getting slightly off topic. Well, not off topic, but off, I don't know, on a media front. Out of nowhere, Warner Brothers announced that it will release its entire 2021 slate of films on HBO Max the same day as they hit theaters. So this includes the Dune, Matrix 4, which that is up my alley, Mortal Kombat for sure, Godzilla vs. Kong, Suicide Squad, Tom and Jerry, and many more. So this is pretty big. In the, I guess in the front that it's I think considered to be very taboo to like or I don't know, I would assume maybe devalues a movie to release it digitally at the same time as it goes in theaters, which it's kind of been an exception in a couple cases, pre-COVID, but it's, I think some people, I understand a lot of aspects to this where, a lot of people who are, fans of the movie experience going to the theaters, which is obviously not, it's pretty unfeasible considering this unprecedented pandemic we're in. But I think the fact that this could be a threat to like the movie industry or the theater industry more, be exact, that it could basically put this on the wayside, and then theaters will be out of business completely, and no more theaters basically. If you want to watch a new movie, you have to, I guess, in this case, when it come out on HBO Max, so yeah, it's surprising for sure, because I some of these movies been kind of trickling here and there, or I think they have been doing the model of both theater and digitally for a lot of stuff. So it's crazy, man. That's super surreal, you know. Never thought I'd see the day, but I mean, at the same time, I don't think we did not see the day that this disease virus is separating a nation as a whole, But I digress. Outside of that, that concludes all the news for this week. Slash, I guess basically last week, but you know, put it together like an ice cream sandwich. You want to wait like a minute so it get like soft, and you eat it. That's what it was. That's exactly what it was, you know. Yeah. So what I've been playing? We forgot we got like 2 weeks of stuff to kind of collect, but I'll try to truncate as much as I can. Devil May Cry 5 Special Edition. Now I'm motivated. I forgot I said that. Now I'm motivated. That's my version of Virgil. Oh man, I gotta do it. Sometimes one of these Halloweens is one of these Halloweens is, yeah, I'm gonna stick with it. One of these Halloweens is I gotta be Virgil. And then I got, got the katana, I got the white hair, probably just make dye my hair white. No. I mean, put the whatever you how you make your hair look weird, I don't know. And then, that's my line. Now I'm motivated. I gotta now I'm motivated. It's just the most least intimidating. I'm about to fight Dante. About to fight Dante. I unsheath my sword. Now I'm motivated. Oh man. Oh my god, that is rich. Now I'm motivated. Then I had to hesitate. I was hesitant in that. I'm like, I'm not sure if I want to fight Dante, yo. Now I'm motivated. All right, let me stop. Oh man, that is killing me. Let me get my cheeks. Oh, my cheeks hurt. Devil May Cry 5 Special Edition. It's great. Virgil is pretty dope. His move set is pretty awesome. Thank you Capcom for having freaking Virgil unlocked initially, Devil May Cry 3 Special Edition, I think, and 4, you had to actually beat the game once with Nero, Nero Dante for 4 and Dante in 3. So you had to freaking play the game literally all over again. And then to play the game all over again with Virgil, which was annoying and irritating. But at least thankfully for 5, he is unlocked at the start. So thank you, Capcom, because I mean, clearly, people, which is kind of, it was, when you think about it, it's very counterintuitive, because people who probably get this, at least for sure initially, if anything, are people who played the original and just wanted to play Virgil. So, just felt kind of counterintuitive and, just inconvenient to like, oh yeah, thanks for buying our game. All right, play our game again and then unlock Virgil. All right. Go on. Go on. So thank you, Capcom and Itsuno. Thank you so much. So that is what I did. I played as Virgil. He is awesome. He has pretty much the same weapons as the previous games, but they're definitely more realized. They're definitely reworked. You definitely have way more flexibility. I guess I don't really remember 4 as much in terms of his moveset capabilities, but I don't know. For 5, it definitely feels like he's way more capable. He has a lot more options. You can be way more flexible with the all your moves and combos to get that smoking six sexy style. That's quadruple S. That's not a game, but you know what? Hey, Capcom, I'm giving you ideas right here. Super smoking six sexy suck. Sucking. Suck it. It's like, what? All right. Super smoking. I gotta do it. I gotta do it now. Super smoking six sexy style. Oh, that's kind of dope. I'm gonna have to do that again. I'm sorry. Super smoking six sexy style. it's so good that he keeps like, you got to stutter because it's like so good. Super smoker, sick, sexy, sucking style. Uh, I mean, Capcom, if you need a voice announcer for the next Devil May Cry, hit your boy up. aswishtv@gmail.com. I'm gonna just put that out there. Just put that biscuit out there for you if you want it. You gotta wait. I mean, you gotta get it quick though. It's gonna get hard. It's gonna get stale. But I digress. But yeah, his move set is pretty dope. He has the Beowulf, Yamato, and I think the Force Edge. All are pretty unique and pretty dope, and you can get crazy with it and switch styles. Of course, Virgil is a man of taste, so he does not mess with guns, but he has little sword arrows. Sword arrows. That does not make sense. Little swords that he shoots out, and you can upgrade the tiers and get different flexibilities with using those in different ways, and like where you can charge it and like shoot like 6 at once. And I think there's one like that keeps them in place if you like launch midair and stuff like that. So it's a lot of dope flexibility, and you can get real creative with combos, which is again the biggest reason why I always love and appreciate Devil May Cry is just like the flexibility of combos, and then I guess just that the flexibility of the combos and the stylishness of it, and the animations. Dante like saying "woo," when he's mess with some nunchucks, "woo." That's what he does, when he's beating your ass. Like, how you gonna take that? You getting your ass beat by Dante while he's saying "woo." Like, well, hey, he's good. He's half demon, half man. So suck it. But yeah. So I mean, played through it, fully beat it with Virgil. Still the gripe that I've always had with Virgil in these is that they don't. He's more like a DLC character, like think of like Tekken, where with all the DLC characters where they're in the game but they don't have a story at all. I don't even think they even have, like, if you beat it on arcade, I don't even think they have a ending. Yeah, I believe they don't even have an ending for the DLC characters, I believe. So that's the only gripe I really have with it so far, is that you can't they didn't implement him in the story more. Like they give you the initial story of how, Virgil, got his Yamato back and stuff, but which we already knew if you played the original, but they gave a slightly different perspective, but that was pretty much it. And then it's the weird thing where he's like technically, if you know the story, fighting himself like 3 times. And I guess the truncated version of playing as Virgil, where you don't have to deal with switching characters and playing different characters and stuff like that. It gets a little weird where it's like you're literally fighting yourself like 4 times, which is like, it made me realize, I'm like, I didn't realize that's how many times you actually fight what's his name. But I don't know if it's maybe because they're, for Virgil's campaign, they like truncate all the campaigns into one and just just have Virgil just go through everything, because that's what it feels like. It just feels like a DLC character, not necessarily like a, I guess, fully realized implemented character, which I personally would have liked to have a couple cutscenes here and there in the same manner as like Nero and Dante. So that's probably the really only big disappointment. I guess also I'm pretty certain it's the case that they didn't add Trish or Lady, which were in Devil May Cry 4 special edition. So that's a little disappointing. Who knows? Maybe they might add them as DLC characters, but that would be kind of messed up if they're not, in the special edition, but you have to buy them additionally to the special edition. But and, of course, my baby Nico, she just didn't, they didn't want to give her any playtime, give her any cool, make her a character yet, but who knows? There may be still time. But I mean, I guess that's even more concerning because I know they said that Devil May Cry is gonna this is gonna be the last Devil May Cry for a while. That they're not even gonna make another Devil May Cry in a long time, at least according to those Capcom leaks in terms of their release slate. Um, which is disappointing because I mean, I felt like this one did pretty good in general, at least from what I heard. But who knows? All in all, Devil May Cry 5 Special Edition, pretty great. Also has the dope. You get the if you have for PS5 Series X, you get the 120 FPS modes, which are pretty dope. It's smooth. That boy's smooth. You also get the turbo mode, of course, which has been a tradition since 3 as well. I haven't messed with that yet, but basically get the gist. It's just faster. You have to react faster, do combos differently, stuff like that. So, all in all, it is great. Virgil is great, Virgil was great. Now I'm motivated. That's right. Now I'm motivated. Oh, that's gonna get me every time. Then after that, Call of Duty Cold War, multiplayer specifically. It was double XP weekend, double weapon, and double traditional XP over the weekend, and was messing with that, getting my ranking up to the max, and I did do that. Also the Nuketown 20, or I guess they just call it Nuketown. I guess that was only for Black Ops 2, the futuristic one. But Nuketown came out as well, so played a lot of Nuketown. Yeah, I don't know, man. Compared to Modern Warfare, I feel like I still like Modern Warfare more as a whole. It's just something I can't put my finger on that at least I don't see myself playing as much as Modern Warfare. That makes sense. That I don't know, just the flow of the game, just the changes they made, or at least the differences in this compared to Modern Warfare. I feel like I still gravitate towards Modern Warfare graphically, gameplay wise, weapons and stuff like that. So yeah, I don't know. I dabbled in everything. I play with all the maps, uh, um, as well as the Nuketown. I played the one weird, which seems like a primer for Warzone, kind of. I forgot what it's called. It's called, I think, Hyper Bomb, Dirty Bomb. Yeah, Dirty Bomb, something where it's like it's a huge map you jump on and you have to arm bombs, and whoever arms the bombs wins, I guess, ultimately, or the most. It felt definitely you got hella Warzone vibes, but in Black Ops' own way, kind of. Like, it had pretty much all the engine implementations where, you when you're down, you crawl, you parachute in after you die and stuff like that. So it's fine. I don't know. I think maybe after some tweaking, some updates, patches, maybe I'll like it more, but I don't know. Just graphically, I don't know. It just doesn't feel like it's doing it for me. I don't know. And then the time to kill seems like higher in Modern Warfare, which I guess in some respects, maybe it's just because I'm playing so much Modern Warfare that not lately, but have been for the past year, that I'm just so used to and acclimated to that. And then I don't know, shots I feel are not going like I want them to. The gun tweaking is weird. I don't know. We'll see. I'll give it another chance maybe when the next update comes out or next season. See how much I like it, but I don't know. It's not looking good for Cold War. But now it's like I feel like I'm incentivized to play Modern Warfare now that they actually are implementing it technically with Cold War. If you are in my boat and don't really aren't digging Cold War that much, so my impressions as somebody who played it until I reached technically max rank 55, but now they implemented the prestige kind of thing where you know after you're done with the season, technically you can get extra tokens and stuff for merit and all that. Which I don't know. Maybe if it was Modern Warfare, I would probably still try to do that. But I mean, well, considering like single player games coming out and like Cyberpunk, that's gonna like I'm literally just gonna surround myself in. I don't know. Moving on. Gears 5. Also put a lot of time into Gears 5. With the Operation, I think 5 update that came out, that came with a couple 4 maps. I think Clock Tower, Gridlock, River, Nexus, and some other one, I think. But man, oh my god, playing Gridlock again, yet again. Felt good, man. You just knowing all the tactics from like back in 2006. It's nothing greater than that, man. I was actually playing way longer than I should have just to like try to play the new maps, which some of them didn't pop up. So I was like, you know what, let me just play a bot session just to get a feel for the maps I wasn't able to play in my like long ass session of playing Gears. But man, feels good. Gears feels good now, man. Especially now, 120 FPS. It's great. It's good, And then I think what's always been what's the word, like not disappointing but underrated is the customizable executions. Like they're adding they added a lot of dope stuff in terms of executions in that game. Like freaking rip somebody's head off and like punt it. You can like do the wrestling moves where you like do a power driver and then decapitates them and stuff like that. So it's pretty dope. I recommend if you're a Gears fan, maybe been away for a while, highly recommend you give it another shot now with everything because it is great. Gears has always been good. I've just been dormant with Modern Warfare and taking up time. Generally, I'll probably allocate to other games, but now that the season is ending, well, I guess still won't, but I'm glad I got a good hardcore session in recently. So then, weirdly enough, like the original Titanfall. Because with Game Pass, with EA games are now added to Game Pass. So I was like, you know what? Let me mess with Titanfall, see how that game's doing. And yeah, man, that game is great. Actually, like people are still playing, which is one weird thing I like to do. Is like a multiplayer game I used to play a lot. I generally like to if it's a previous console generation, with however long it's been, I'll like, you know what? Let me see if people playing. Let me see if we. Let me see if people playing. Let me try to get a match in. and that actually was the case. I played like a legit like 5 games, I think, of Titanfall. And man, that game is freaking addicting. I forgot how good Titanfall was back when it came out. It is really good. It is really good. I'd arguably say I even at least that session played it like longer than Titanfall 2. Which is sad because I think a lot of people didn't play Titanfall 2. I mean, I played it. I played the campaign as well, of course, but yeah, it's just something about the original Titanfall I think I like more, with just the personality, the whole dynamic of escaping. I'm not sure a lot of the stuff made it into Titanfall 2, like the the escaping after you lose to kind of get like some payback for losing against the team, which is I always thought was a really dope dynamic. Where it's like, crap, we lost. Well, I'm gonna try to get away though. I'm try to get my last licks in, if you will, to just kind of get that that oomph against them for winning against you, which I always found was a very underrated aspect that isn't in a lot of multiplayer games. That is unfortunate, but hey. it is what it is. But man, I don't know. I might might have to put Titanfall back in my rotation. It's funny. You see, what's really funny is you saw a lot of Gundam Gundam name tags in the game I was playing with, which is makes sense at the same time. But I forgot about that fact that that's the biggest appeal of this game is the you know Titans. So yeah, that was really good. Probably the biggest game I'm playing recently is Yakuza Like a Dragon. Um, Probably maybe 30, 40 hours in, I think. I've been like putting time in this game, man. And the funny part is like all I've been doing is like legit side stuff. I've not even really been playing the main stuff. I'm on chapter 5 currently. Um I think I got pretty much all the main party members. I'm not sure how the party members work. I got one party member from a side mini game. Um but I'm assuming there's more. I'm assuming I'm probably in the same respect that there you get them from sub stories and side stuff, but who knows? But thoroughly enjoying the side stories, sub stories, and the mini games. Ugh, man, it's like they don't miss. It's like every Yakuza, like all the mini games are pretty much good. Maybe the older ones are a little suggestive and more arbitrary, but at least for Yakuza Like a Dragon, man, ugh, some of the best mini games I played. A mini game is good when you would like legitimately play it on its own, or you're playing it somewhat more than the actual game itself. Outside of doing the completion for that mini game, whatever requirement that is. But just let me give you a preview of some of these dope mini games. You've probably seen them in some of the trailers and stuff, but it's a pretty cool one at Seagull Cinema, where it's basically it's kind of funny and pretty more than likely realistic. But you go to a theater at Seagull Cinema, and you're basically watching all these movies, and the mini game is you're trying not to fall asleep watching the movie. So you're basically doing all these button prompts to get rid of the sheep that will make you sleepy. And then you have the caveat as well of these chickens that give you more health technically to stay up. That'll wake you up. But if you hit the button, if they pop up, then they actually hurt you. So then there's that dynamic. It generally comes down to memorization of especially when it comes to the harder ones where they actually like the movie they're watching is like a historical movie. It's like, oh, this is gonna be tough. And this is gonna be a love movie. Oh boy. Oh, let me try to stay up. But you could definitely see a lot of satire of our media in terms of in the U.S. Like I think they have like a Robo Chef, which I think is more than likely a satire of RoboCop. They had I think a 50 Shades of Grey reference movie, Home Alone movie. It was called like Office Alone, and it's like an employee stuck in the office with like a spy or something. It gets kooky, but it's definitely good fun. Um, they also have Dragon Kart. Dragon Kart technically came back, but it's not as freaking annoying and just artificially arbitrary. Where like at least the previous one in Yakuza, I think Kiwami as well as Zero, where you had to like really like it was unnecessarily complicated. Where you had to really really do a lot of experimentation and messing around with like builds of mini carts, which at least it just was annoying. It wasn't really as fun. It was just annoying to try and figure out what you actually need to beat somebody. It wasn't really clearly stated. You had to do it just artificially bloated playtime. I felt like it could have been way more streamlined, refined, and just saying like, hey, this is what you need to beat so and so, and beat this race. This is all you need to do. Just pay this money to get this, and be about your business. Which pretty much is what Dragon Kart is on in this one. It's more active, so it's not like you're watching cars going to track. Now it's like legit like Mario Kart, but Yakuza, which is I think I definitely like more. Where you get pickups and you can shoot rockets and pretty much similar power ups to Mario Kart, more or less. With a Yakuza spin on it. But yeah, been enjoying that. I think I'm towards the end, but I think I have to, you know, I think a lot of these side mini games generally give you a cap where you have to progress the main story, which a mini game is good when you're just like, oh damn man, I just wanted to complete it. So, but probably the biggest, most awesome mini game I have played, I'd have to say so far, uh, maybe of the entire Yakuza series, arguably maybe, is the business management mini game. I was not expecting to be fully engrossed as much as I was with that. But man, that game is fun and addicting. It's just some weird, I don't know, maybe this is what Madden and players, basketball video game players like 2K21 and Madden maybe get in terms like, I know there is some RPG elements of that where you gotta adjust your prices. Like if your team's doing really good, you increase the prices of tickets and stuff like that. I believe I'm pretty sure there's like some management stuff in that. But for Yakuza, this business mini game is fucking great. I have to say that. Man, so basically the gist of it is that you start off with this business. It's like it comes in the story where it's this business and they give you a brief tutorial and then you start playing it and you actually progress. You get employees and then you have to deal with the kind of struggle of debating on what employees you want to employ. If an employee is good enough, do you want to replace them? And then you have to lay them off. And then there's the matter of keeping the employees in good spirits. So there's a whole factor of like after you do a session, which I guess it basically has you. It does a mini game of where it shows a timeline of how much money you're making and then how much money you're going out of the negative to like pay off like the negative in terms of the cost the cost to upkeep the store. And basically it gets real complicated but interesting at the same time, so I'm not doing it justice explaining it. But it basically will get to a point where you go this timeline and you make as much money as you can, and then when it reaches a certain point it'll tell you made this much money or whatever. So after you do that, you do a loop of that where you take care of your employees, then start business, and then after the business cycle is over, I think there's like it's generally 4 or 5 cycles. Then inside of that, there's like these random instances after each business money making session where some employees will ask like, hey, I want a raise, and then you like debate, I don't know if I really want to keep this person for that much money, and then you can lay them off and stuff like that. Very random stuff like people want are asking for an investment in their company. Sometimes, more often than not, for me at least, it always fails. But in some cases, rare cases, it actually is a big ass payoff. It was like one company that asked me, hey, you want to make if you give me $10,000, I can flip that into $80,000 if this company does, gets up off the ground. And at least in that rare instance, it actually did work out, and I got like a cool 80 million yen. So yeah, stuff like that. It's pretty dope. There's like these periods where you're promoting. They'll ask you if you want to promote, do some marketing or whatever. And in those periods, you'll get like a surplus of money. You actually make way more than you normally would. So it's all of that goes in there. And then as well, after these periods, I think there's like 4 periods. You get this. What is this? What is it called? Like a shareholder meeting where you basically it's a pretty dope mini game, a mini game within a mini game where you have to convince these shareholders like, yeah, everything is good. Don't worry about it. But it gets real like interesting with the it's like a rock paper scissors thing, like Pokemon kind of, where it's like red beats blue, no, red beats green, but blue beats red. So it's that whole dynamic where you have to basically you convince people. So it's like people have a certain amount of health. Technically, they call it persuasiveness, and you have to basically convince them to, that everything's good with the company, that you don't want to back out, blah blah blah. Um, but yeah, I don't know. You have to really experience it, but it's pretty awesome. It's probably, yeah, I have to say it's probably one of the best mini games that in the history of Yakuza, for sure. Yeah, I think that's probably safe to say. I just was very engaged, very, yeah, thoroughly engaged. It has this, Yakuza typical like plot of, there's like five, big heads that, when you get to certain thresholds in terms of progressing in the mini game, that you face off with them and stuff like that. So it's pretty dope. I don't know. The cabaret club from Yakuza 0 was really good too. So, and Kiwami 2 was really good as well. So I don't know. It's very much up there for sure. Um, yeah, I don't know. Kind of reflecting back, they're all really good. It's definitely up there, at least top five for sure, in terms of mini games. But man, highly recommend it. I think if you're playing Yakuza just to critical path it, I think you're doing a huge injustice, because I think a lot of the appeal and charm with Yakuza is definitely the side stuff and side stories. I think that I'll always say that with pretty much every Yakuza game, but this one, I think it's even more important, because I think I believe I heard in like the end game stuff, which I've obviously not gotten to yet. It gets really, it's like some huge difficulty curve that happens with, when playing. So it is only beneficial to do a lot of the side stuff to get powerful weapons and upgrade yourself and all that stuff. So yeah. So clearly, I'm thoroughly I'm thoroughly enjoying Yakuza. It is pretty great. I highly recommend it. And yeah, I mean, after playing it and loving it, I still wish it was a beat 'em up. I am still I it don't get me wrong, the combat is fine. Um, they do try to at least implement some active stuff into it, where, like if you're getting attacked, you can do a perfect guard, where if you hit B at the right time, you can reduce the damage you generally would take otherwise, which is it helps. And then some of the attacks you can tap X to make it more powerful, hit X hit Y at the right time to add more damage and stuff like that. So I mean, they're trying, but at the same time, it's like it just still won't compare to like beat them up in terms of like doing a Komaki Tiger drop at the right time multiple times and like obliterating a boss in like 5 seconds just by perfectly timing and parrying, that is my shit. But you know what? Hey, it is what it is. You could tell at least that negotiating team the team Ryuga Gotoku Studios are enjoyed making this game. Obviously, there's a lot of Dragon Quest references, which at least I've never played, so that's kind of goes over my head. But I understand it to some extent. I'm like, oh, okay, I guess that must be in Dragon Quest. So, which is kind of interesting, because I think Dragon Quest 11 Definitive Edition just came on Game Pass. So, wonder if there was some kind of some intention there. I don't know, because it's Dragon Quest with no, they're a Square Enix, right? I think it's, yeah, I don't even think they're related to Sega technically. So either way, yeah. So yeah, Yakuza's great as always. I mean, I I do enjoy Yakuza when it's a beat 'em up, but I mean the thing that always kept me engaged with Yakuza throughout is the side quest mini stuff. Even for the older games too. So yeah, I mean, even though I really wish it was a beat 'em up, I still thoroughly enjoy it. You know, as it is, but uh, that's a big concern, man. Because I mean, considering with the Game Awards, it got a nomination for best RPG as well, so that's huge. That's the first time. So I don't know, man. I'm very very concerned. I feel like now they're gonna go the beat 'em up route. I mean, the RPG route now with Yakuza, which is very unfortunate as a fan of the original beat 'em up version. But if they compromise, if they like do traditional RPG, well, if they do RPG with the mainline Yakuza now, if they at least like make a judgment the way it is as a beat 'em up, or do some other spin-off and keep that beat 'em up um genre going, that would be okay. That would be a reasonable compromise. But I don't know if otherwise they just, I don't know, do something else where they just totally neglect the beat 'em up Yakuza now. That's gonna be real depressing, at least for me, as a yet another beat 'em up falling to the wayside. Unfortunately, hopefully that's not the case, but we'll see. But yeah, Yakuza's great. You should play it if you're a fan of JRPGs and Japanese culture and stuff like that. So yeah. Moving on to media. Mandalorian. Man. Caught up. I think, was I behind 2 episodes? Either way, I caught up. Man, this last episode. Whoo boy. If you watched Star Wars, Clone Wars, or I forgot the other one, the animated ones, boy, are you in for a fan service biscuit of goodness that got jelly with the good stuff. Cause man, boy, fan service. If fan service was a thing, Mandalorian served it. And as someone who didn't even watch the animated stuff, I recognize the character. I mean, okay, I think it's, even if you on Twitter, it's probably been spoiled. But spoilers for the Mandalorian, I think episode 5, I believe. They just off the bat, just the episode started, they're like, you know what, we ain't gonna build you up. We're just gonna put you into it right now. And Ahsoka Tano, they just straight up just showed, she's there, and she on that ninja stuff. She like disappearing, and her lightsaber zoom just comes out, and zoom, she's coming. She's like a ninja, but Jedi like, which is dope. So that was cool. Pretty much that was the focus. She was the focus of this episode for sure. We did find out the name of Baby Yoda, who will now only be named as referred to as Grogu, which I think it's pretty safe to say nobody's gonna call him Grogu. He will still be Baby Yoda in everybody's eyes. But it is good to at least have a for sure name to have him referred to as. But I think everybody, ignorant, non-ignorant, are still gonna call him Baby Yoda. I think that's pretty safe. I don't think maybe it'll grow on everybody, but I don't know. Grogu, I don't know. That sounds too similar to Goku. I don't know. That doesn't sit right with me at all. But I digress. So, yeah, but pretty good. I'm very interested what the next episode is going to be. Apparently, I think the next episode they said Baby Yoda. See, I just instantly, Baby Yoda he has to go to a shrine for, I think, all the Jedis, where he will determine if he wants to be a Jedi or something like that. Where basically, because he's so attached to the Mandalorian, that they are Ahsoka Tano doesn't want to train Yoda yet until they determine that, or something like that, generally. I freaking forgot. Even freaking Mandalorian is in Fortnite. Oh my god, this game. Fortnite is like Smash Brothers when you think about it. Just all these random characters. What you got? John Wick, freaking all of the Marvel's Avengers. Well, I guess now Mandalorian, Kratos, Master Chief, supposedly it may potentially Samus, and all these various other tie-ins and character. Fucking Travis Scott shooting up against the fucking Kratos. That is just weird to me. Hey, it it's Fortnite, I guess. I guess part of me is kind of frustrated because I wish the game was more accessible to somebody like me, where it isn't just building, which annoys me. But either way, that was a tangent. But nonetheless, Mandalorian is getting pretty good. I'm glad I'm watching it. It's paying off. It's paying off. Then, man, Fresh Prince reunion on HBO Max. I caught that, and man, that is freaking great, man. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I think I talked about it on Twitter when I watched it, but you know what? Them tears came out hard. I was crying. I mean, it was emotional, man. It was a lot of emotional moments in that reunion, but seeing everybody come together was great. But also remembering, reflecting on the impact that James Avery, aka Uncle Phil, made to everybody. Just as an actor, like outside of the show, man, that got to me. That struck a strong ass chord. And then of course the the Aunt Viv's reunions. So actually Will making up with the original Aunt Viv. That was something very impactful about that. That just them actually burying the hatchet now. Now they're also all on good terms. Which that got me too. I ain't gonna lie to you. I mean, hey, I'm a man, but I cry if I need to. You just gotta let it out. You can't be, just all, oh, I'm so hard, oh, gangster. That's that's me 75% of the time. But that 25%, hey, it's okay to be emotional. You gotta let it out. You can't bottle it up, because what's gonna happen? It's gonna pop. It's not the good pop like soda, but but I digress. It's really good. If you're a fan of Fresh Prince, I highly recommend it. Definitely a wonderful reunion to kind of summarize a lot of the highlights of the show, what made the show as great as it is, a lot of insight into that. It's really good, man. As somebody who grew up to the Fresh Prince, it definitely, it struck a chord with me, just like, how influential and, what's the word, like inspiring as somebody, a black kid growing up and, seeing a very positive, role models in terms of all the characters. Of course they have their faults and stuff, but just to see a positive, generally positive, black people in a show like similar to the Cosby Show. Well, considering things that have happened since, but yeah, man, it was a wonderful show, hilarious, a lot of funny moments. Yeah. So for me, it was a soft spot for sure. That it was just crazy just to kind of reflect back on the show and like all the funny episodes and characters, and man, it's really good. Highly recommended if you are a fan of the Fresh Prince or enjoyed the shows and then back in the day. Also, Shinji Mikami, the man, Arch Peel, he released the second interview that basically talks about like after Shinji left Capcom, the projects he's made. I think they talk about Shadows of the Damned, the glorious God Hand. I loved that shit. So it was very insightful to see how the development process was for God Hand. It seemed like they made that game fairly quick, and to see how great that game is and replayable that game is. It's pretty fascinating to see how much they can work something that I'd say personally perfect. You know, I guess against IGN's 6.0 review of the game. I think I think they scored it lower, but either way, pretty dope interview if you're in a Resident Evil fan of Shinji Mikami's work and stuff like that. Staying in that realm, somebody who's a fan of Yakuza, Toshihiro Nagoshi, also RHPO interviewed him. They basically, went through the history of Yakuza in terms of the whole, beginnings of Yakuza and how it actually got off the ground, which is pretty insightful. There's a lot of stuff I didn't know in terms of like how the scale was bigger, but they actually narrowed it down. They actually were trying to appeal to women, but they was like, you know what, we'll just appeal to men and even older men at that. I think demographically they also like wanted to appeal to older men, which was interesting. Which at least now that I'm older, it makes sense. But even as a younger kid, I thoroughly enjoyed it as well. So, and of course, anime wise, some friends' recommendations. I mess with Haikyuu. Watched the first episode. It's a volley. I guess it's apparently the slam dunk of volleyball, if that makes sense. So, watched the first episode. I'm lukewarm, at least initially, but I'm definitely planning to give it a chance and see what develops there. Hunter x Hunter. Watched the first episode of that. Curious to see what develops for that. Probably more interested in Hunter x Hunter currently, but definitely plan to give both a shot, see what happens and develops. But probably recently, just on a whim, I guess Hulu had a special where it's $2 for a whole year. Well, $2 a year to watch Hulu, but I feel like I was kind of duped now thinking about it because Hulu, I guess the Hulu Basic is basically Hulu, but you get ads, which is like defeats the whole purpose. But then I guess apparently now there's a Hulu with no ads, so it's like what? Either way, I was like, you know what? I've been missing Family Guy for a while. I've been very dormant. I haven't watched it in like years, like I guess consistently. So I was like, you know what? Let me catch up on Family Guy. Man, Family Guy is really good, man. I mean, it just that the type of just for humor always just gets me personally. Just the rant. It's the thing I appreciate about Family Guy is that it hits humor that is like very relatable and random that you never like really think about until like the show brings it to your attention. I think that's probably a pretty good summary, but man, it is just good in those ways. I think it's the only show I could think of that really legitimately does that perfectly to a T. Like stuff you never think about that actually you like, don't think about, which is funny. But yeah, just random shit, man. Man, and then they be pushing it too. So it's like I think it's like if you combine The Simpsons with South Park, I think you essentially would get Family Guy ultimately. Because yeah, they be pushing them boundaries just like South Park, but at the same time, well, I guess that's really only just based on the story setting of a family, I guess is the only correlation I could compare to Simpsons. But oh man, it is good. It is good. So I think I fell out of Family Guy like season 13, 12, I think. So I pretty much started back up there, and yeah, man, it is great. So all in all, it's pretty much what I've been up to. Yeah, I guess 2 weeks worth. It's a lot of content, but hey, we got through it though. We got through it. Yeah, that'll conclude it for episode 83 of Switch of Sites podcast. If you did enjoy the podcast, feel free to like, rate, and subscribe on your favorite podcasting platforms. Good or bad, any feedback is appreciated. If you want to catch, that's the wrong one. That's the wrong one. That's the wrong one. I messed up my outro. If you wanted to catch this podcast live, you can catch it on Twitch TV/aswitch, where I do stream it every Thursday. Well, technically it's Friday, but you know what? This is the Vamp edition. Switch's sites where, you know, my sleep schedule, I don't know what's gonna happen. So you know what? Whenever I get up, I'll do it. But either way, you're at least guaranteed before the end of the week. You can also catch archives of this podcast on youtube.com/aswitch as well, where I do upload every Friday also there. Yeah. Outside of that, you can follow me on Twitter at aswitch as well. Till next time, y'all, don't cough, don't touch people that don't want to be touched. Get your game on. Oh, yeah. Damn. That's the wrong one.
Nobody's safe.